everyone. Welcome to another exciting episode of Wild, Weird, and Wonderful. If our background looks familiar, you've seen this before. I'm Maureen Jager-Skinner, your host of Wild, Weird, and Wonderful. I'm joined by Wildlife Discovery Center curator, Rob Carmichael, and it is the 2013 Reptile Rampage.
It is.
And how many years have you been doing this,
15.
Rob?
This is our 15-year anniversary.
Amazing. Wow.
Time's
And it gets bigger every year.
It does. We got a big crowd in there right now. We have lots of exhibitors. We got to thank BTG International Incorporated for sponsoring this big event. And we also have some other people. We've got some amazing things here. Silent auction. We've got these choice front half seats, every venue for Sting, Joan Baez, Willie Nelson, a whole bunch of other artists that were donated by the Ashland Foundation. So it's an unbelievable year.
Yeah, that is great. Well, then, what are we doing out here? I think we should go in. Take a look around.
Do it.
Let's go. We're joined now by DORINA and Karen with the Chicago Herpetological Society, and they have two friends with them. Tell us your friends' names and what you're doing here today.
Okay, this is a ball python, and we're exhibiting them today here at the Nature Center, Lake Forest Nature Center. And we're spending time with all these wonderful people, with the children.
Do you have a name for this guy?
No, I don't have a name for her.
Okay, hers.
Yeah, it's a female.
Okay. And who's your friend?
Oh, this is actually a DORINA snake. It's a Texas rat snake, and he is nameless. Oh, he is. His name is Merlin, she says.
And that's a boy.
It's a male.
Mm-hmm.
You can name that one Maureen if you want, if you're looking for a
Are you Maureen?
That's my name.
Then we'll name her Maureen.
Thank you. I am honored.
Yeah.
That is like a real compliment.
Okay.
So tell us what the Chicago Herpetological Society is all about.
The Chicago Herpetology is the study of amphibians and reptiles. And we're here to teach. We don't sell anything, or reptiles we don't sell. We teach people on the care of animals, also conservation, and yeah.
I love your friends. You've got another friend here too. Who's this?
That's also it's a ball python as well.
Okay, right. So they're that one's going to be jealous that this one's going to
That one's a male, that one's a female, and they've had eggs together.
They're a happy couple.
Yes, Maureen, they're a happy couple.
Well, thank you for sharing your time with us, and we might come back and visit while some of the children are learning about your snakes. So feel free, everyone, go on up and take a look. All right, thank you, ladies. We're joined now by Julie Tempensel with the Windy City Chameleon.
Yes, even though I did not bring any chameleons with me today.
What did you bring today?
I brought lots of monitors, big and small.
All right, show us what we've got here today.
This is an Argus monitor. They originate from Australia and New Guinea, mostly from northern Australia.
They look like stuffed animals.
They move, yes, and they can run about 35 miles an hour when they do move. And of course, we've got some education going on here. They've been trying to mate all day, or he's been trying to mate with
I thought
her.
that's what was going on. I didn't want to say it.
Right, and so the kids don't quite know what's going on, but the parents get it, so.
They think they're just really good friends, and they like to.
Right.
So, do you show these often?
Yes. They are used to going to educational events. They're very, very docile. They handle crowds well. Today he's got other things on his mind, but yeah.
So this is not typical for them to be doing.
No, she's usually hiding.
Okay, so both of them are like in the mood for this today.
I'm not sure about the female. She's been pushing him off all day so far. So.
You really learn life lessons watching how animals interact.
Yes. Well, this is, how they do that in the wild. So.
And so they will have a baby eventually, and then you'll have another one of these.
They do lay eggs. She'll lay about six to 8 eggs.
How often?
2 to 3 times a year. Yeah.
What do you do with the babies?
You incubate them, incubate the eggs, can sell the babies or keep them, but then you've got a whole bunch more really big enclosures to build.
So you often sell them?
Yes.
Okay. And keep your, these are your breeders, basically?
Yes, they are.
So neat. Did you say they had names?
Yes. The top one is Anubis, and Gretel is on the bottom. This is Anubis. He is an Argus monitor. They're from Australia. In Crocodile Dundee, when they refer to a goanna, this is a goanna. they're often used as meat from the native people over there. Not so much anymore, but...
He's sticking his tongue out at me. When he does that, is that dangerous?
No, he's smelling.
Oh, that's how he smells.
Yeah.
So he's not going to bite me.
No.
Maybe just lick me.
He might lick you.
And so you had to take him away from his girlfriend to show him to us. Does that bother him, or will he just get right back at it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's very used to being held and used to crowds, used to people invading his space.
It is very weird having him stick his tongue out at me. That is really bizarre. All right, can we meet his girlfriend? Sure. It's interesting because I'm noticing that the male is more attractive than the female, like with some species, right? Or is that just happen with these two?
She's just dirty.
So they're very similar looking. It's not like peacocks or where one is pretty.
Yeah, she is a little dull. She's actually getting ready to shed. So once she sheds, and she is dirty. They live in a very large enclosure that does have soil, a mixture of soil on the bottom, and they do burrow. So they get dirty real easy.
And what do you feed them?
Lots of poultry, fish, different kinds of fish, other seafood, eggs, and various poultry, chicken and turkey.
All right, at least they don't eat people though, so I'm safe with these two.
Although I do tend to tell people that they eat small children if they're getting too close. So
that's a good way to keep the kids away. Right. And that's why she's called Gretel, right? Because of that story. All right, let's take a look at your other pets. This guy, as Julie was bringing him out of his cage, ran towards the crowd. It was pretty exciting. Never a dull moment at Reptile Rampage. So fill us in on him.
This is a yellow monitor. They're relatively newer species, and newer discovered species. Back in about 1997, 98, they were discovered. And they are a arboreal monitor, but they do like to burrow also. I find him a lot burrowed under the soil when he sleeps, as opposed to up in the trees like the regular tree monitors. This is a younger juvenile. He'll get about twice this size, almost 3 times the size. But they are pretty flighty, as you can tell.
Right? That was funny. The crowd went wild. Our show's called Wild, Weird, and Wonderful, so now we know why. We just saw him go wild, and it was pretty weird and wonderful. We're joined now by Joaquin Mendez. And tell us what you've been doing here today at the show.
I've been touching a lot of animals and getting tattoos and walking around and seeing friends.
Can we see your tattoo? I love his tattoo. That is awesome. Is that anything in particular?
A blue-tongued skink. I actually have one at home, so.
You do? So your tattoo matches your pet?
Uh-huh.
What is it like having that for a pet?
It's kind of hard because, like, when you try to take it out, it sometimes tries to bite you, but I wear gloves.
Oh, boy. And what made you want that for a pet?
Well, I wanted a dog, but then my mom suggested this, and I was like, oh, yeah, I like lizards. Well, maybe I should just get one. So I tried.
Is it kind of hard to take care of them?
Uh-huh.
I think a lot of people don't realize how hard it is to take care of lizards.
Can I tell you a secret?
Sure.
My mom, she's scared of crickets. I spilled crickets all over the floor, and she screamed like a girl.
Good thing she's a girl. It would be a lot more embarrassing if she screamed like a girl and she wasn't. That is a great story. Thanks, Joaquin. So you're having a great time?
Mm-hmm.
You'll come back next year?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty cool. We're joined now by another member of the Chicago Herpetological Society. This is Rich CROWLEY.
Hi, how you doing?
And Rich, you call this your Vanna White here.
Yeah. So he's holding right now is Delilah. It's a 7-year-old Colombian boa constrictor. Right now she's at about 65 pounds, so she's pretty heavy. She's feeding pretty well, obviously. Otherwise, she wouldn't be this size on the bottom of there. But she's eating at rabbits right now. She just had one about a week ago, so.
Oh, so it's still sitting there?
It's still, well, in some form it is, yeah. Hopefully it stays there.
Yeah, let's hope it stays there today at least while
Yeah.
we're interviewing. So is your name really Vanna White?
No, it's Michael Mark.
Oh, okay. And This is your daughter?
Granddaughter, Rachel.
Rachel Scott.
What does this feel like, Rachel?
It feels. I don't really know what it feels like.
She's soft, strong.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, right. So if he goes a little tighter, you're in trouble.
No, I'm not worried. Not worried at all.
Actually, I think a lot of people don't realize, even though by the name boa constrictor, it is a constricting snake, which a lot of snakes are, where they'll basically constrict whatever the prey at them, but they don't have arms and legs. So the position he's in right now, I normally would not recommend people doing this at home.
Okay.
But what he's doing, he's holding it. The body is being positioned at his shoulders, so she actually doesn't have to tighten her muscles to hold herself in place. As long as you still hold on to her, she doesn't need to do that. But if he starts leaning forward or backward, she doesn't have arms or legs. She's going to want to, basically constrict her muscles in order to stay in position.
So is she making you hot?
I am hot.
You look like, right. So she's kind of warm.
Yeah, it's warm in here.
We're joined now by Sean Menke. He is a professor at Lake Forest College. Who's your friend?
This is an albino bull snake. It's just a baby. He's only 9 months old. And so if you can see, you know it's an albino because it has pink eyes. So all the normal dark coloring in a snake has been eliminated. So all the melanin is gone. Whereas this one in here is a 4-year-old snake, and it's a normal coloration. It's not missing any of the blacks or browns.
Now, is this something you do on the side in addition to being a professor?
Yeah, I actually started out when I was a little kid. I started working for the Minnesota Herpetological Society, where I grew up. And so all these snakes here are my personal pets that I use for teaching tools. So this is a nice way to teach genetics and a few other patterns to my students, because we have all sorts of different things that we can breed in snakes now, and it's an easy way to show them how different combinations can be created.
And it makes it more interesting for your students, I'm sure.
Oh, definitely. They like to see, they learn a little bit of biology and then come in, see some animals. And snakes are a nice tool because so many people start out being afraid of them just because they don't know anything. And, passing it in the hallway and starting to see and learn a little bit about it, they can put a lot of things into context and get over some of their fear.
So you're saying we don't all need to be afraid of snakes?
No, not at all. They're actually quite good around the environment. They do a lot of good things for us. Well, for instance, these snakes, farmers like them a lot because they keep rodents down. And so they stop any rodent outbreaks. Fox snakes and corn snakes are other common snakes in this general area that farmers appreciated having because they kept all the rodent populations down and they're not harmful to people in any way. So
that is great. Very handy. So who needs a mousetrap when you have that, right?
Exactly. Makes everything simpler.
Right.
I used to have a snake.
You did?
Yeah, a red racer gardener snake.
What kind?
A red racer gardener snake.
What do you think of this snake?
It's actually a lot like it. It's like the same age, and it looks like the same, but mine had a black checkered pattern with like a light lime green, like checkered with black.
So you might want another pet snake, it sounds like.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
He really does like her. He really does.
I'm here with Bubba, and Bubba is running away from me. I thought we were friends. Bubba and I have met before, and this is hurting my feelings, Jim. Yeah, Bubba, what's up? Why don't you like me anymore?
Oh, he does. He's crazy about it.
Oh, thank you. So this is Jim.
Yeah, Jim, cold-blooded creatures. Yeah, good to see you again.
Yeah, it's good to see you too. I've been missing you guys.
I'll tell you what, this Reptile Rampage is one of my favorite events by far. And, it's a great venue. Look at all the folks here, great crowd. I'll tell you, it's exciting. And Bubba, without a doubt, we've had big crowds all day. He is kind of like the ambassador of the reptile world. He's incredible. You can tell.
I can tell. I don't know why. What is it about me, Jim?
You know what? I see that twinkle in your eye. I think you're falling in love with him. I really do.
Oh, so he's trying to get away from me because I'm just...
A little too aggressive.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Bubba. Okay. I'm coming on too strong.
It's okay. Yeah. You're good. You're good.
So now tell us a little bit about Bubba for those who haven't met him before.
All right. Bubba came into my facility about 7.5 years ago. I brought in a group of gators. I brought in a group, and I called it Gator Daycare. Now, they were all about 32 inches long, and I got to tell you this. I had the bully. I had the scaredy cats in the corner. I had the clicks picking on certain individuals like a bunch of school kids. After I evaluated them all, Bubba was by far the class valedictorian. So he just learned. He's so incredible. And I'll tell you, I'm just very fortunate to be able to work with such a magnificent animal. He's just magnificent. Where kids can come up, kids can pet him. You know, and people have said to me, oh my God, you know, you don't have anything on his jaws, you're not doing anything to him. He would not let me open his mouth. He will not let me open his mouth. So, you know, the way I trained him, he only eats in his pool. We feed him chicken, we feed him beef, lots of bone for all the teeth regeneration. In the course of Bubba's life, could regenerate 2,000 to 3,000 teeth. Talk about a dentist's nightmare. Imagine if you could regenerate your own teeth.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they're incredible. And you know, I tell everybody all the time, they've seen the dinosaurs come and go. This was not an accident. And the thing about being primitive, you know, prehistoric they are, primitive they're not.
And now, if he was in the wild, he would.
Well, if he was in the wilds, first what they usually do is they try to get away from you. They're a fight or flight animal. If they can get away, they're going to get away. And the reason why is if they have to fight, they can get damaged, where they might not be able to hunt. You know, in their world, they want to be able to reproduce. Okay, so what they try to do is try to get away from you first. Now, this guy, believe it or not, doesn't try to get away from me. In fact, he lives in my basement.
No, he just tries to get away from me.
Well, just you, yeah. Well, he lives in my basement. We got a big condo, a big pool. And when it's time for him to go to work, you know, I go in the pool, I get him out. He walks across my basement floor. I say, come on, let's go. We got to get to work. He walks up 13 stairs, open up the garage. He goes out in the garage. He'll sit out in the garage and say, come on, look at the clock. We got to get to work. He walks to the van. I tell him up. He climbs into my van.
He really understands all those directions?
He likes riding with his head in between the two front seats.
Oh my gosh, if you guys stopped by a police officer, that would be a shocker.
It's great for getting out of tickets. Officers, I didn't mean that. It was an accident, really.
Right.
No, actually, I'll tell you what. Our original Bubba is in Bubba folklore. I got to tell you a real quick story. I did a birthday party up in Barrington. It was the dead of winter. It was real cold. At the time, I had a Ford Windstar, so there was no graphics on it. So we got on I-90, not paying attention. All of a sudden, I look in the rearview mirror. I see the flashing lights. I go, oh, shoot. I pull over to the shoulder. State trooper gets out, and he goes, you're in a lot of trouble, boy. I just clocked you at 86 and a 55. You moved over 4 lanes, no signal. Now, before I give you a ticket, just remember this. I've heard every excuse there is. I said, officer, you got me. I was speeding. He goes, well, where in the hell were you going in such a hurry? I said, well, I did the Cold-Blooded Creature show. It was in a room in the house. It was real cold. So I was on a big hurry to get home. So I said, and I got my Bubba, my big gator Bubba in the back. And when I said Bubba, the big denim bag that he was in started moving. My whole van started rocking. The trooper, of course, figured I had a body in the bag. So he grabs his pistol, walks around my van, slides the door open, feels the bag, feels all the scoots, looks at me, grabs his face again, and he goes, sorry to bother you. You have a nice day.
Wow, that was the one excuse he hadn't heard.
I don't recommend getting an alligator and trying to get out of tickets. Just I want to be on the record.
That's not a good reason to give.
And I don't recommend, and all kidding aside, I don't recommend alligators as pets because for the average person, they really don't make a good pet. And I mean that. The thing of it is you have to be a visionary because guess what? A little over 7 years ago, he was 32 inches. Look at him.
That's amazing.
9 feet, 200
oh my
pounds.
God.
He's big.
He weighs more than me.
Yeah, and more than me.
I won't say how much more.
Yeah, he's a big animal. He's big, but you know what? I love bringing him to this venue and other venues we go to because he's so great. You know, with all the people here, with everybody touching him, with kids, you know, sitting on him, having their photos with him, he really, truly is an ambassador. He really is.
Thanks, Jim. This is great.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you again.
He does love you a long time. He does love you. Yeah. No, he does.
Now I won't cry because that would be embarrassing to cry while I'm doing this show. So thank you for reassuring me. I'm still loved.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. at the Wildlife Discovery Center Wild Side store. All kinds of fun things that you can buy here that benefit the Wildlife Discovery Center. Are you folks volunteers?
Yep.
What are your names?
I'm Royce.
I'm Tom.
I'm Riley.
And why do you volunteer here?
Well, I've been taking a lot of the classes they've offered when I was little, so kind of give back. I've been volunteering here for the past 4 years.
It's a great way to give back and to learn about all the different animals. So.
I've actually also been in programs since I was small as well and been working summers and every break I have here.
So you love it. And this is great. They have a lot of cool stuff here, as you can see. Ooh. And you can get shirts. You can stop in the Wildlife Discovery Center and buy these, right?
Yeah.
Nice caps. So there's all kinds of fun stuff that you can buy here. You could get Beastie. These are great. Well, thank you very much for sharing. This is a lot of cool stuff. You can drop by the Wildlife Discovery Center to find it there, or you can come next year. I'm sure you'll all be back, right? Sounds like you're never leaving. Here we are at a craft table. There are all kinds of craft tables here set up for the kids. Are you guys having fun? Yeah? Okay. You're helping here, right? Are you a volunteer?
Yes, I am.
And what's your name?
Charlie Beeson.
And you're actually enjoying the craft table. What's your name?
Madeline.
What do you like about this craft table?
That you can make other reptiles and talk about other people's pets, and it's just fun.
What do you like about it?
We've been talking about the pets that she's had and all the reptiles that she's enjoyed here. So we're kind of recreating them with clay and drawing them out.
So you have a lot of fun helping here.
Yeah, definitely.
And you learn, these kids learn a lot more about really the wildlife and the reptiles.
Yeah, definitely. I'd say so.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, this has been a great little visit. Are you kids going to come back next year? She says yes. They'll all be back. We're joined now by Deb Crone with Frog Lady Presentations. Explain.
So I teach about nature, but frogs are my favorite. So I really kind of specialize in frogs, but I also do other reptiles and amphibians as well. And I teach libraries, schools, I go to birthday parties, you name it. So lots of fun.
Do you introduce yourself as the Frog Lady?
Always. Kids remember Frog Lady. They do not remember Deb Crone or Mrs. Crone, so it's always Frog Lady. Yeah, and they never forget it.
Show us some of your pals here.
So these are some frogs that are pretty laid back, which is why they're out. You know, a lot of the frogs I have here could not be on the log. They'd be jumping all over. Two of these frogs here are called giant monkey tree frogs.
Oh my God.
The coolest frogs you could ever see or know. These come from South America, Guyana, and they're called monkey frogs because they walk like a monkey.
Will he walk under my hand?
He probably will. No, he will not. If you raise your hand a little bit higher than mine, there you go. They're very slow, methodical. So yeah, that's pretty much how they act.
He looks like a cartoon character.
He does. I always like to tell people they look like aliens. Like if I told you I went to Mars and I got an alien, I brought it back, you know, you would totally believe me because it looks just like something from another world.
It does. And do the kids get to hold him at your shows, or probably, or?
Limited frog holding because too much handling can be kind of hard on them. They can hold this one. They can hold a waxy tree frog, but mostly the frogs we pass around in small containers, or we line them up and they come up and see them that way. But I do a lot of lizards and turtles and snakes that can all be held and touched.
So I feel special.
Yeah.
He's very slimy and yeah. It is. It's like holding an alien or like something jello-y or something.
Exactly. Yes. These frogs actually come from drier conditions. So like savannas, they're out more in the open sun, and so they produce a wax that they rub all over their skin. And when you see him do it, it looks like he's doing yoga. It looks like he's, doing all these weird contortions. He rubs it all over his skin, and that helps him from the moisture evaporating. So he does a lot better than if, one of our rainforest frogs were to be out there. So.
How old is he?
I do not know. So.
How long do they live?
This guy would probably live anywhere between 5 to 8 years. You know, in the wild, probably not quite as much. They're going to get eaten by predators, and you know.
So he's got a lifespan of 5 to 8 years if nobody eats him first.
Yes, yes. Actually, one really neat thing about, well, there's several neat things about this frog, but this frog has a chemical inside it. It's a peptide that's actually 100 times greater than morphine. And so they're doing a lot of scientific work on this. They think there may be some cancer cures and things like that inside this frog. I mean, lots of neat things. The people in the area that they live, the primitive tribesmen, actually rub this frog. They irritate it until it produces a poison. The poison comes out. It's like a white, sticky poison. They take that poison and they put it into a burn on their skin. And then they go through intense vomiting, intense diarrhea for about an hour or two. After that, they get a sense of power, superhuman strength. They're not hungry, they're not thirsty for like 3 days. So they go on hunting expeditions after taking this chemical. If you were in South America, you can actually go to day spas and get, it's called the Kandoo treatment. It's Kandoo, I believe is how they spell it. And you can actually go through this whole process. I would never recommend it, but there's a lot of really neat things about this frog. Really cool.
And he's obviously like in the rainforest or something because of his color.
Yeah, he is. He's down in the rainforest, but he does like it a little bit drier. You know, he'll be more like edge habitat, more on the edge.
Fascinating. Do you have any other? Is this a frog here?
Black-eyed tree frog. There's his eyes opened. So you can see the black eyes, which is how it gets the name black-eyed tree frog. And these eyes, for me, look like marbles. I mean, when you look at them, they're almost hypnotic. It's like you can get lost in them.
Are these guys friends?
No, they don't live together. You know, all my frogs have their own terrariums. They all live in separate, you know, containers. So, but they, you know, they're not gonna mind each other too much as long as. Oh!
He looks like an alien too.
Yeah, this guy's a little bit more of a jumper than that guy. Apparently. He's already fallen asleep back in your hand.
Wow, he really likes my hand.
Yep, very lazy. Very lazy. So,
thank you.
You're so welcome. And now he's gonna go back to sleep. So
that was too much. That was too much exercise for him.
That's a lot. Yeah. Now, if we were to come back at night. If we were here at midnight, 1 o'clock, you wouldn't see these frogs here. They'd be all over.
They're nocturnal.
They're nocturnal, and they really do a lot of activity, all their activity at night. That's when they're hunting and feeding, and yeah.
Fascinating. Thank you. We're joined now by Adeline and Christian. Tell us about your friend that these Cub Scouts are loving.
This is my reticulated python. His name's Asmodeus. And this is my albino boa named Lafille, and they're both rescue snakes, both personal pets at home, though I would like to try to breed them. And we like bringing them to the shows, and they enjoy attention and being played with, and so they hang out with the kids.
Can you show them to the camera? Cool, very cool. That's amazing. How does he feel?
Good.
Does he feel the way you thought he would feel?
Yeah.
Does he feel slimy?
No.
Does he feel awesome?
Yes.
What about that tongue? What do you think about that tongue?
It's cool. It goes up and down.
Is your tongue yellow like that? It's very cool, isn't it? What's your name?
Nathan.
Oh, thanks for showing us, Nathan. We're joined now by Audra and Austin. It's kind of a tongue twister, who have joined us from the Madison area, Herpetological Society. You came all the way here from Madison.
We did, yep. We came down last night actually and stayed in a hotel so we could, be here early enough to set up this morning. So.
And why did you come here?
We were invited by Rob Carmichael of the Wildlife Discovery Center, and our mission is to educate people about reptiles and amphibians, so we're always really happy to participate in events like this. This is great outreach.
It was totally worth the drive.
Oh yeah, definitely. So.
Now tell us about, I think first we're going to find out about your friend before he bites someone.
I'm pretty sure he won't bite anyone. He's been pretty good all day. And this is a golden choco-knee tarantula. They're native to South America and central parts of there. He is a terrestrial tarantula, and just a little fuzzy guy, pretty harmless, and he's been leaving little tracks of webs all over me, as you can see right here.
Gosh, look at that. Can I touch that?
Yeah, go for it.
Whoa. He's making this web. Oh my gosh. It's pretty, wait, is it, ooh, it's sticky. Does it break easily?
It can, but it actually is really strong stuff, and people are trying to make it like an artificial version of it because it has a lot of potential uses as like stitching or as a replacement to steel cable.
It's caught out my hand now.
Yep.
So, tell us more. Is he poisonous?
He is. He does have a venom, but kind of like a bee sting. If you do get bit, depending on if you're allergic or not, you'll swell up a little bit. But if you're not, it just hurts a little bit. And thankfully, I've never been bit, and I've really had no one been bit when I've been showing these off to anyone. They just kind of be more of a skittish than anything. They just want to be left alone to some degree.
Why does this web keep coming up?
Does
this do this all day long?
Not always. He kind of can. It's just like they're used to help him keep in place.
Is it if he's nervous?
It can be. It's.
I'm glad that tarantula's not climbing around me like that. I wouldn't be laughing.
I've got a couple more at home, so I'm pretty used to this. Sometimes they'll get on my face when I'm trying to show them off to people, and I just have to very carefully get them off. As long as you're careful, they're pretty harmless.
They don't bite you on your face?
Not always. As long as you're careful.
If you're nice?
Yeah, if you're nice and you're gentle. A lot of the New World ones are pretty harmless. They'll more or less want to run away or kind of, if you really stress them out, flick hairs, which gets really itchy. The Old World ones from like Africa and Asia are a bit more aggressive, so they're more of a look, not touch kind of animal. When the New World ones, like this one and other ones like the Chilean rose hair or pink toes, are able to be handled a bit more.
Is this your pet?
This is actually my friend Ryan. He's the president of the Herpetological Society. I would have brought mine, but I had class this week, so I was kind of unprepared to bring it.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, no problem.
Now, who's your pal?
Okay, so this is a western hognose snake. And there are two species of these. There are also eastern hognose snakes. An eastern hognose would be native to Illinois and Wisconsin. The westerns obviously are native further west in the U.S. here. We tend to keep westerns as pets if you're going to have one because they're willing to eat rodents and things. Eastern hognose pretty much only eat toads, which is not really convenient for a pet. So they're a fairly small snake. This one is young still, so it's a juvenile. I think the females get a little larger than the males, and I believe a female full-grown might be 18 inches long, so they're a relatively small snake. But you can see that they've got a little snout that turns up kind of like a piggy nose, so that's why they're called hognose. And they're kind of interesting in the wild. They will actually rear up and hood a little bit, almost like a cobra, if they feel threatened, and if they still feel threatened after that, they're willing to regurgitate any meal that they may have had recently and flip over on their backs with their belly up and play dead. So in captivity, they don't tend to do that very often, but if you were to come across one out in the wild, it might very well try and convince you to go eat something else, although, of course.
Do you travel all around with these guys?
Yeah, mostly in Wisconsin. We do come down to northern Illinois occasionally. We can only go so far from Madison reasonably, but yep, so.
And then the turtle's yours too, right?
Yeah, a lot of this stuff actually does belong to our president, Ryan, so, feel free to go interview him as well. He knows a lot. This is actually a Burmese mountain tortoise. The difference being that tortoises live only on land and turtles live both on land and in water. This one is about 13 years old, which is actually pretty young. This particular species might easily be 70 or 80 years old, perhaps, as an average lifespan, and he'll get much bigger than that.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe 75 pounds full grown. So.
Where do you keep him back in Madison?
Ryan has, he's just built a large enclosure, I think, on the floor of his basement. And it doesn't need to be, like, it's kind of like a high wooden wall along the floor and then some kind of bedding.
Does Ryan have a wife?
He does. His wife Angel is here also. So
okay, she's very understanding.
Yeah, well, she likes the tortoises a lot herself, so.
That's lucky.
Yeah. This is not this is a western hognose snake. Nope, he's called a tegu, spelled T-E-G-U, and he's a big lizard from South America.
How old is
he? He's 8 years old. He is full grown. He was a rescue, actually, so he was not fed very well when he was young. He now belongs to Ryan, our president, who's been taking much better care of him. So if he'd been taken care of his whole life, he'd be a little bit bigger than this, but this one is done growing. So his name is Tank.
What do you guys think?
It's so cool. The patterns on the snake. How big is it going to be?
This is it, right? This is as big as he gets.
Yep, this is as big as he gets.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming.
I am joined now by the founder of the Madison Area Herpetological Society, Ryan McVeigh, and this is his very understanding wife who lets all these guys live in the house with them, Angel. Tell us how this came to be. Well, first tell us what these are.
These are actually, this is what's funny as people see these are actually hers. She likes the cockroaches and stuff. So these are giant hissing cockroaches from South America.
Wow, la cucaracha, right?
Yeah, but these aren't, a lot of people hear cockroach and they get scared and they think, oh, they're gross.
Right.
They associate it with dirt and filth. But these guys are actually very clean, and they're vegetarians. They pretty much eat fruits and veggies, and they don't smell at all. They're very, very clean insects.
So when people don't want cockroaches in their homes, they don't mean these guys. These guys don't.
These guys couldn't even live in your house. If I let these go in my house, they would die from the cold and from the lack of humidity, especially in the Midwest and Wisconsin, or in Wisconsin and down in Illinois. It's really dry during the winter, and they need a nice humid environment.
What are they doing right now?
Just hanging on each other.
They like to hang on each other?
Yeah, they'll pile up. This is actually a boy and a girl, but
I wondered what was going on.
They're just kind of hanging. Nah.
They just hang like this.
They're just kind of hanging out.
Okay. All safe, right? Their parents don't have to worry.
Oh, nope, totally safe.
All right, tell us how you started this.
Well, I've always liked reptiles and amphibians, and I went to school in Milwaukee for engineering. And while I was in school, I had a lot of reptiles, so I started taking the opportunity to get out and educate kids and do school shows and stuff. And then when I moved to Madison for my career, I founded this. I figured there's a lot of people that like reptiles and amphibians, but there's not a lot of good knowledge out there about them. It's actually one of the fastest growing sections of the pet industry, but there's a very sparse amount of information out there on how to properly care for them. And 95% of animals that end up at a vet aren't there because of a sickness or a disease. They're there because they were improperly cared for. So this is a way for us to get breeders and people who have had these animals forever and have the right information and connect them with the beginning kids that are excited about it and get them the right information on how to care for these properly. And then we also do a lot of talk about local conservation and why it's important to have these animals in the wild.
How long have you been around?
Oh, Madison?
No,
on Earth?
No, you can keep that private. How long have you had the Madison Area Herpetological Society?
The Madison Area Herpetological Society's first meeting was October of 2010. So we were really young.
You're
We've only been around for about 2 years, but we're already one of the largest ranging and most active herp societies in the country.
So this is your full-time job?
No, I'm a energy engineer. So I have a 40, 50 hour a week job, and then we do this constantly on the side.
Wow, you were lucky to find Angel here. This is like what you like to do on weekends, right?
Yeah, she keeps me from knowing where I am and what my name is and where I need to go next. She organizes that.
So you love all this stuff too?
Yep.
How long have you been married?
Only a couple months now.
Oh, so you're newlyweds, and this is like your honeymoon.
Kind of. I'm hoping we'll get one that's maybe more like just us instead of 1,000 people, but it's still fun.
Right. You love what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, newlyweds. You have a lot in common, I can see. And is there any other pet here, or is that just all you have down here?
This is all we have down here. We kind of snagged these from those guys because we felt naked down here without any reptiles or creepy crawly stuff to show kids. And just sitting here kind of talking about the raffles we doing and kind of help. I get to be the president and beg people for donations. So, and that's kind of how we do it. We run completely on donations. We don't even pay ourselves back the gas that we use to come here. All the money, every nickel and dime that I have, and we have extra even as a family, goes back into this so that we can go out and educate kids and help that next generation of kids that love animals. So
That's great you have that passion. Thanks for coming down today and sharing.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having us.
We're joined now by Steve Brown, who came all the way here from the St. Louis Herpetological Society. Thanks for coming, Steve.
Thank you.
What do you have to show us today?
Well, we do a venomous display up here for the Wildlife Discovery Center, and just bring up a few of the animals that I have and let folks see them.
Who's this guy?
This is a Mexican cantil from Mexico.
And then who's this one?
It's an eastern diamondback from the southeast United States.
Do you have a lot of snakes and pets?
My pet is my dog. The snakes, I end up with a lot of them, whether I want them or not. So my pet is my dog. So.
And you travel around the country, the Midwest?
No, I do something in St. Louis, and we come up here and do this for the Wildlife Discovery Center. That's about it.
So, and then you've got some more snakes down here. These are all yours. What's this snake?
That is a copperhead. It's native to southern Illinois.
And they say venomous. That's why you can't. I asked Steve if he could take them out, and he said no. He does have a lovely wife who joins him on all this, and she's showing things too. So it's kind of a team effort with you and your wife.
Yeah. Generally, we got another guy, a gentleman up here with us, but he was ill this weekend, so he couldn't make it. So.
Well, obviously you're a good match. We're seeing lots of happy couples with these reptiles. Now, kids, what do you think about this? Pretty neat? Yes, they said yes. In sign language.
Let's get an actual picture up here.
Okay. Everybody smiles. Okay, push one. Push one. We're joined now by Chris McKee, and you're with a reptile rescue group.
Correct. Friends of Scale Reptile Rescue.
Okay, so this is a rescued snake.
This is actually one that I have actually, personally rescued and actually brought over to my house as my personal pet. He is actually he's actually kind of the unofficial face of the rescue itself. But he actually sees about 8,000 different people per year with all the shows that I wind up doing. So just basically purely for the education standpoint of them.
All right, now these kids are really going to get an education. He's about to meet some new friends. All right, should we go? All right. Face the camera, kids. We want to see your reaction. All right, this is Shannon and Zoe, and they're about to get a new necklace. Okay. Here we go, girls. They look excited. The excitement is in the air.
He loves people. He'll actually try to give you kisses. Okay, so he's going to be a little bit heavy. He actually weighs about 25 pounds right now. Okay. Don't grip the head, but just go ahead and let him go. There you go. He's actually just going to crawl around. He might actually sit there and nuzzle with you. This is actually a Borneo, or this is actually a Sumatran red blood python. He's a male. He's 7 years old. Like I said, he weighs about 25 pounds. And sees about eight, sometimes even 10,000 people per year. Of course, as you can see, we've got quite a few people here as well. So,
and he's very tame.
Actually, yes, he is. He's kind of one of the exceptions to the rules. I've worked with them very, very long to get him this way. Like I said, I do a lot of educational shows per year. A lot of them happen to wind up being with 4-year-olds. So I have to purposely make him this way to where he can actually be handled by anybody.
And look at how calm these girls are. That is amazing, girls. Did you think you'd be this calm with a big, huge snake wrapped around you?
Not really.
How about you, Zoe?
Yes.
What does it feel like, Shannon?
It feels kind of weird.
Would you want to do this again?
Maybe.
This is my daughter and her friend. I'm very proud that these children are learning early on how to actually hold and not be afraid of snakes. It's pretty amazing. Looks like it matches your outfit. You guys are doing great here. Thank you.
It does.
It matches Shannon's skirt. So the kids are loving it. And as you can see, that's one of the great things about this show. All these kids are touching snakes like this, which otherwise that would never happen in their lives. And it's amazing that we all live in fear of these reptiles. And look at this. These children will never be afraid of them again. We've got Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts, children of all ages here learning hands-on how to handle snakes and see what they feel like and what they act like.
It's the benefit to doing educational shows like this. The sad thing is that some of these will actually be wind up not being around in 10 to 15 years. So
why?
Well, some of the legislation that's being passed on some of these, especially like Burmese pythons and stuff like that. Some of the other constricting snakes, anacondas, rock pythons. They're actually going to be making it to where it's almost illegal to own, and nobody has ever, the kids and the generation after are not even going to be able to know what they are. You can't even, the zoos will have to even pay, a nice, hefty tax just to go ahead and get a license to keep them. So if they can't afford it, well, then nobody's even going to see them, whether it's in captivity or even be able to hold them. So
people need to come to Reptile Rampage while it's going on, because Steve just pointed out that someday we may not be able to do this. So this is a great experience. Thank you for sharing.
Well, thank you.
We're joined now by Terry and Rich with the Windy City
Reptiles.
Tell us who your friends are.
This is a little crested gecko. He's a little hopper. I like to say he's my little soft and squishy because he's got really, really soft. And his little feet right here have little suction cups on them to where they can hold on to the glass like that one is back there.
Oh, wow.
And then this.
This is a blood red corn snake. She's a real good girl. She was one of my breeders the last couple years. I like her a lot. And this is carpet python. It's a jungle carpet python. And she's just a couple years old. She'll get a lot bigger than that. And I'm really lucky with her. She has a great temperament, real good with kids and everything.
Tell us about this one. Very interesting.
I call him my mascot. He is 13-year-old green iguana, and he is the biggest puppy dog in the world.
Really? He doesn't look like it.
He really is a puppy dog with scales.
What's his lifespan?
20 years. 20 years. He's about 13 right now.
Is he your pet?
It's one of our group members' pets, but yes, all of these animals are our pets.
And you come to all these shows
just to educate, just purely to educate, talk about husbandry.
That kind of stuff, sharing the love.
It's like it's part of you.
He just hangs out, has fun.
Will it go on my hand? Whoa, okay. That's kind of weird, but then you get used to it.
Little soft, squishy suction cup feet that you got
Yeah,
in your hand,
but he's pretty soft.
Really is soft,
I see what she means. He is soft and squishy. Wow. You don't expect him to feel like that.
No, you don't. You really don't. And that's one of the reasons why I love doing what we do, is when we get to see a little kid smile and just light up seeing that for the first time. It's the best feeling in the world.
And you let the little kids do this, too.
I have a 6-year-old at home who has more animals than I do, and has actually gotten me back into this hobby because of this education.
Oh, do you have another job besides this one?
No, I'm a stay-at-home mom and a reptile keeper.
That's awesome. All right, how about you?
I do building maintenance as a job, but snakes are my hobby big time. I love them.
Passion.
Very much so. Very much so. And love these shows. It's great. The looks on the kids' faces, it's just incredible. Can't beat it.
Thank you so much for coming and sharing these fascinating creatures with us. We really appreciate it. We have come upon Matt Hughes. And Matt is fascinating because he used to be afraid of these guys, but tell us the story.
Well, I was actually just going to come here to help my friend who needed some service hours, and she just told me to come to the rec center, and I was like, okay. So I decided I'd come to the rec center, and I walk in, and I look around, and there's a ton of snakes here, and I'm like, I was like, Haley, there's snakes here, and sure enough, you know, it just kind of was like, why? And I was terrified of snakes before I came here, and.
So as of today, you just had a transformation when it comes to snakes.
As of 9:30 this morning, pretty much, yes. This is now like I think the 4th snake I have walked around with.
So this show did it for you.
Pretty much, yes. And with spiders too, with a tarantula. I put one on my head too. I would never have done that before.
That's amazing. And how old are you?
I'm 18.
18 years. 18 years old. And he came to Reptile Rampage and lost all those fears in one day. Talk about good therapy, right?
Yeah, seriously, good therapy.
So another great reason to come. Look at Matt now. If you would have told him that at 8:30, he wouldn't have believed it.
I wouldn't have been here. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Matt. We're joined now by Jim, who works for the Field Museum in Chicago. Tell us what you're doing here with your interesting hat there.
Okay, this is actually my wig. And you know, when men get older, they get a little bit bald. Right. So this is Hannah, keeps my bald head warm. So she's my wig.
She's your toupee.
She's my toupee, yeah. I've been told it's the worst toupee in the world, but.
Yeah, you need your money back.
Yes, I need my money back.
And then how about this one?
This is Charlotte. She's a Mexican red-kneed tarantula. She's very docile, very gentle. Let's see who's going to hold her. Hold your hand out. There you go. Okay. Look up at the camera. And they're very, very gentle animals. They never bite. And there's a number of species that are gentle like this. And there are others that are more aggressive, so we don't use those for holding.
And have you ever gotten the top of your head bitten?
I've never been bitten by a tarantula.
Wow.
Some species of tarantulas just never, ever bite. So spiders don't want to bite us. They don't want to waste their venom. So they just don't bite. Other species that are more aggressive might, so I just don't hold those.
Awesome. You want to hold it, Maya? You want to put your hand out, honey?
Come on. How about putting her on your head?
How about you, Elliot? You want to hold her?
Put her on your head.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Oh, you were here last year. There you go. And this guy, this guy is Stump, and it's an ornate box turtle that I found in southern Illinois, and he'd been hit by a car. And his back leg was paralyzed when I found him, and I rehabbed him by making him swim, and he now has full use of the leg, and I've had him about 35 years.
What's his lifespan?
They can live 70 to 80 years. And he's a male. He has red eyes, and females have yellow eyes.
Very pretty.
And he's a really nice-looking ornate box turtle. Here you go.
Does he live in your house?
He lives at my house. all the tarantulas and other things live at the museum.
And do you have a wife? Yeah, I do have a wife. Oh my gosh, I'm holding a tarantula. Oh my gosh, Ed, I'm holding a tarantula. All right, this is something I never thought I would do. The tarantula is crawling up my arm. Wow. This is really kind of scary, but you know, my pal here tells me that he's not going to hurt me. Is this Charlotte? Is this a girl? Yes. Like Charlotte's Web?
Charlotte's
okay.
Web.
Okay.
She came out of the web today just so everybody could hold her.
This gives a whole new perspective on Charlotte's Web.
Yes.
So it's actually, she's very soft and gentle. I won't mind giving her back, though. But it's been quite an experience. So I did something new today, too, and you all witnessed it. And I'm here to talk about it. Pretty amazing. Thank you. Good to see you, Jim. Well, all good things must come to an end. So sadly, Reptile Rampage is shutting down soon, and we're going to have to shut down this episode of Wild, Weird, and Wonderful. Rob and I have become very close during this episode. Yes, it's lovely. And we're sharing Delilah. So this is our new, we're trying to start a trend. We're thinking people could go out wearing snakes and, you know, really draw a lot of attention. So this snake, I have to say, is very heavy. This is my exercise for the week, Rob. Rob was willing to take that part, which I'm very grateful for, because he's much more familiar with handling this.
Speechless. She's just overwhelmed with this event.
That's right. So, Rob, now tell us, you know, how today's event turned out and what else we can look forward to. Oh, she's moving. Okay.
Yep.
I've never been this close to Rob in my life. Okay.
There we go.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Thanks, Rich. I'm losing my necklace.
Delilah's handler's in big trouble. Okay. I think he's pulling a prank on us. Okay, tell us about what some other events that have been going on and how it turned out and what to look for.
Well, we probably had a record number today. I think there's no doubt that we had one of our best events ever. And
there's a record number of people watching us right now at Reptile Rampage.
And now we're coming up to our camp season. We got summer camps coming up. We do birthday parties. Next weekend we're going to be doing a big show in Chicago. So we got all kinds of things going on.
And so Reptile Rampage in its 15th year, record crowd.
Record crowd. It has no tally yet, but I think that just the way the crowd's been, it's been huge.
And Rob, I'm glad we've become so close.
I know.
It's been a great experience.
Glad I brushed my teeth today.
Yeah, me too. Well, we hope that you will join us next time. But for now, thank you for joining us from Maureen Jager Skinner and Rob Carmichael and Delilah at Reptile Rampage 2013. See you next time on Wild, Weird, and Wonderful.